أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My dear student, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are doing well. Our today's topic is the dawns awake. It's unit 5 from grammar. Today we are going to discuss how to explain and how to paraphrase a poem. Before starting the poem, we are going to discuss some figure of speech, that is simile, metaphor and personification. First of all, we are going to discuss the dawns awake. The topic is the dawn awake. Dawn is the time before the sunrise. Before the sunrise and awake, actually this is figure of speech. Right now I'm not going to discuss. Later on when we are going to discuss personification, then I'm going to discuss the meaning of the dawns awake. Before starting our poem, we must know that what is the difference between explanation and paraphrasing. First of all, when we are going to talk about explanation, you are discussing or you are explaining something in detail. You are giving explanation in detail. When we are talking about paraphrasing is actually to change the poetic words or the poetic ideas into a simple language without altering its meaning. Only what you have to do when you are going to change the poem into paraphrasing, only you have to write or you have to change that into simple words. You are not going to change the original meaning, but you are not going to do the explanation. Sometimes you might have seen some people, they are using in this poem, the poet wants to say, the poet explains, the poet tells us. You are not going to say all these things. If you are writing these things, that would be wrong or that would not sound correct. What you are going to do when you are going to do paraphrasing, and paraphrasing only just you have to write or you have to change the poetic word into simple words. Now when we are going to do, you have to, before that, it means the paraphrasing is to change the poetic word into prose. What is prose? Prose is a simple language. You are not going to change the meaning of the poem. Now, before that we are going to do some figure of speech. Figure of speech is when you are using any figure to show or to explain the situation. First one is we are going to discuss, that is simile. Simile is when it's a figure of speech in which one thing is compared with another thing using like or as. Whatever you are going to compare, either you are going to compare human being or any other thing, and you are using like or as, that is called simile. For example, we are going to use you're brave like, you're as brave as a lion, as white as a snow, as sweet as sugar. So when you're using as and like, this figure of speech is called simile. Now I have given examples, two examples in order to know or in order to distinguish between metaphor and simile. Now we are going to discuss what is metaphor. metaphor is it directly compares the two things, saying that one thing is another. You're not going to, actually we are not comparing, we are giving the quality directly. For example, you are my sunshine, you are my you are my angel, you are my princess. Whatever you are going to do, you are not going to use as and like. So that would be metaphor. You are directly comparing, or you're directly giving the no, we cannot say the quality. You're directly comparing one thing, that this is, that one is another. Now, for example, we are having example of this, that she is as innocent as an angel. Now, as you know, when we are using like and as, it's very, very clear that it is simile. Because whenever in a sentence we are having like and as, so that would be simile. Now, when we are talking about the same sentence I have written, she is an angel. It means we are not going to use that she is like an angel or she is as innocent as an angel, but directly we are calling her as an angel. So this is the distinguish, we can distinguish, or we can just find the difference between metaphor and simile, that here, as you can easily see, that we used as innocent as an angel. But here we directly compare one she with an angel. We say that she is an angel. Now, in order to explain that in more detail, we are having another example, that is, he is like a bear when he is sleeping. He is like a bear when he is sleeping. When a baby is sleeping, or when someone is sleeping, that we are using what? He is like a bear. We use like or is, so that would be simile. Then we are having a child is a bear when he is sleeping. Here directly we give, or we call child a bear, not like a bear or as a bear. So here this you can easily know that this is simile and this is metaphor. Now you should know, and you have to find out some example in order to distinguish between simile and metaphor. Now let us discuss about personification. Why the poet he uses all these figure of speech, just like simile, metaphor and personification. The poet uses simile, metaphor and personification in order to attract the attention of a reader, or in order to attract, or in order to make the poem more interesting by using all these figure of speech. Now we are going to discuss about personification. It's again a figure of speech in which we give the traits and quality of human being to a non-living thing. Now, how we are going to give the quality or traits of human being to a non-living thing? You might have seen, and especially in poem, that sometimes we are having, or we are giving the quality of human being to non-living thing. Now you can easily see the flower are dancing. Actually, flower we see that it's human being because it's taking water, it's taking it needs oxygen, it needs light. But the thing is, because the flower does not dance, so here the flowers are dancing. So it's the quality of human being in which we are giving that to flowers. The sun smiled at us. It's again, smiling is the quality of human being. We have given that, and sometime you might have seen, you might have observed, we are giving this quality to non-living thing, that is sun, that the sun smiled at us. They whispered through dry grass. They whispered through dry grass. here we are going to give the whispering. Whispering is again the quality of human being. So here we have given the quality of human being to dry grass. The fire swallowed the entire forest. Actually, again, you can easily see, or you can easily observe, that swallowing is the quality of human being or any other being. Here we have given the quality to the fire. Here the last one is we are going to discuss the dawn's awake. As I told you earlier that we are going to discuss that in detail at the end. The dawn's awake, actually, before the sunrise or before the dawns or before the day arise. So it's here again, it's the quality of waking is the quality of human being. It's not the quality of sun or day or anything. So again here we are using, or we have given that the quality of waking up to the dawn. Now we are going to discuss in the second part, we are going to do explanation first of the poem, and then we are going to discuss the paraphrasing, how to do paraphrasing. While that would be given to you people in paper, how you are going to attempt that. I hope you would understand this all figure of speech. Our topic is The Dawn's Awake. It's a poem and it's written by Otto Lilienth-Bohenen. Before that, in part 1, we discuss about all the figure of speech. Just we are going to revise once again part of figure of speech. Figure of speech, why the poet he uses figure of speech in a poem in order to enhance the hope and enthusiasm. He used here three type of figure of speech: simile, metaphor, and personification. As we discussed already in part 1, so we are not going to revise that again. Just only now we are going to do what is explanation, what is the difference between explanation and paraphrasing. As you know, paraphrasing is to change poetry into prose, or in a simple word, to change poetic word into simple language without altering or changing its meaning. Now we are going to, as the dawn's awake. The dawn's awake mean the beginning of a new day. This poem, first we are going to discuss something about the poet Otto Lilienth-Bohenen. He was a composer and was born around 1895 and educated the public school in Washington. He did special work in English at Catholic University in that city. To get started with the poem, first of all we are going to discuss the vocabulary given at the end of the poem. Then we are going to proceed, or we'll go ahead. Forlorn is pitifully and abundant or lonely, or just forlorn, the meaning we can write is miserable. So this is adjective. Paean is a song of praise or triumph. Triumph means victory. So whenever we are having, or anyone is singing a song for triumph and victory, that is called paean. Smoldering is to burn slowly without flame. You might have seen sometime we are not having, we can just see a fire, or we can just see a flash of light without having a fire. So that is called smoldering. Dawn is the time of the day the light appears. Ignite is to start to burn, to make something start to burn. Whenever you ignite something, whenever you burn something, that is ignition. Ignition is noun and ignites is verb. Fragrance is a pleasant smell. It's again noun. Bone is start of an idea or feeling, or it can be used as adjective and verb. Bone mean, you can just write the meaning as well, to tolerate. Pent up is adjective, unable or that cannot be expressed or released, or unable to express anything is pent up. Eternal is happening often in seeming, never to stop without an end. This is again adjective. Boon is a thing or something that is very helpful in make life easier. Boon, you can just simply write the meaning as a blessing. Mingle is to combine or to make something combine with another. This is because it's starting with two, so this is word. Numb is unable to feel. Whenever you are feeling numbness is actually, numbness is when you are unable to feel anything, that is called numb. Now we are going to discuss the poem. First I am going to do explanation. After that we are going to discuss, or we are going to do how to attempt or how to write paraphrasing. Before that we must know what is given or what is given in this poem. As I have written explain, the poet explained or he explains the hardship of African American people they had suffered while being in slavery. At that time the sky had been very dark and gloomy for a long time. They suffered the slavery of American people for a very long time. They had been under the slavery of American people for a long time. After that what happened? They just, because it was, they were not able, the people, because they did very hardship, they did very, a hope arose in their heart, and what they did, they just, for the long period, after a long period of time, hardship and difficulties, everyone was able to enjoy the good day. Before starting now, we are going to before starting the paraphrasing, we are going to discuss first, we are going to do explanation in order to comprehend that poem completely. The dawn's awake, the flash of smoldering flame and fire, ignite the east, then higher and higher. O'er all the sky so grey, forlorn, the torch of gold is born. Here the poet wants to explain the hardships of African American people. That before that, what happened? The dawn's awake. That a kind of hope wake up in their hearts in a flash of smoldering flame and fire. It was actually, you might have seen, whenever there is a flash of fire, then after that the fire begin to, or just we can say that the area will be covered with that fire, or it will light up the whole area. The same thing happened. It's smoldering the flame in fire. It was before, it was a flame and then it become a fire. Ignite the east and higher. Actually it means that it light up the whole, it light up the east, the west, the south and all the area, and then so on, slowly and gradually it light up the whole area. It does not mean that it was a fire and it light up the whole area. Actually whatever hope and enthusiasm just rose up in their heart, it was just, for example, one people then just, you might have seen whenever they wanted to do a kind of campaign, so other people they are joining them, and then become the number of people increases gradually. So the same thing happened when just one person got up, and then gradually, slowly and gradually, that hope, enthusiasm, it took place in the heart of all people. Overall, the sky is so grey and forlorn, the torch of gold is born. Here the poet wants to say that the sky was so miserable. The sky was so, we can say it was everywhere was sadness, because they were under the slavery of American people. They were suffering lot of hardship and difficulties. The people, it was the extreme level of, we can say, hardship for them. Later on, what happened? Before that, before the flame came and it changed into fire, everyone, the situation, the environment was so gloomy, so miserable, and the torch of gold is born. It means here the poet uses metaphor here. He compares the sun to the torch of gold. It means whenever the dawns is, or the sun is going to rise, slowly and gradually it light up the whole earth. The same thing happened. The hope and enthusiasm rose in their hearts, so it took place in the heart of other people. When we finish explanation, my dear student, then we are going to do its paraphrasing. Let me finish first explanation. The dawns awake, the dawn of thousands dream and thrills, and music singing in the hills, the paean of eternal spring voices the new awaking. Again the dawns awake, the new day come, the new day, they face the new day. Thousands, it was not only the dream or the hope of one person. It was not only the hope or enthusiasm of one single person. Actually, it was a cause, it was an excitement, or it was an enthusiasm in the heart of thousands of people. Because if you just, whenever we ignite a fire in any area, so the whole area is slowly and gradually, the whole area is going to get fire. The same thing when they just one person, he got up and he started struggle for victory and for triumph. So the same thing happened. They had, it was a hidden enthusiasm in their heart. They just rose up. It rose up all the hope and enthusiasm in the heart of thousands of people, not in a heart of a single person. The music singing in the hill, the paean of eternal spring. You might have heard spring. While you're in a hilly area, you're just hearing a very nice and a very amusing sound of all the things, chirping of birds, flowing of spring, all these things. So it was actually all because all the time the spring flows, so it creates a sound, a very nice and a very lovely sound. So what you have to do, this sound, it was actually a song in the heart of people for a long time. Now they were going to sing that song, and voices the new awaking. Actually, just like we are waking up a person from the sleep, so it was actually the people were sleeping the sleep of slavery, and they woke up and they just try to find or try to get triumph and victory. The dawns awake, the whisper of pent-up harmonies with the mingled fragrance of trees, faint snatches of half-forgotten song, fathers torn and numb, the boon of light we carved, awaited long, has come, has come. The dawns awake, the day has come. The whisper actually, it was actually in agreement, or it was the thought of unity of many people. They were unable to express. They were being under the slavery of American people, and they were not having the strength to express their feeling. Now they got up that strength, and they just wanted to express their feeling for triumph and victory. Actually, it was the mingled fragrance of trees. Again, we are going to discuss, it was not the struggle of a single person, it was the struggle of many people, many lives. Faint snatches of half-forgotten song. Actually, it was just like when you forget something and you wanted to remember that thing again. That is a time-consuming thing, and you have to remember that thing slowly and gradually. They forgot how to live in freedom. They forgot how, because they remained for long time under the slavery of American people. It was just like a forgotten song for them, and they were just defeated. Their forefathers were defeated. They were tired of being slave or being under the slavery of American people. Now the time has come. Now that they got the struggle, they got the strength to come out from the slavery of American people. Now the dawn's awake, the day has come. It has come, the day has come, that they have to enjoy the nice day. Now we are going to discuss, this was actually explanation, we are going to discuss its paraphrasing. Paraphrasing, how you are going to do paraphrasing? First of all, you have to write its reference to the context. Reference to the context, you have to tell something about the poet and then the poem. And then one or two lines, just I have written for you, you have to write its summary. Then you are going to do the paraphrasing. Reference to the context, for example, you have to write this stanza or these stanza. This stanza has been taken from the poem The Dawn's Awake, which is written by Otto Lilienbuehmen, and in this poem, he described the hardships of African American people, which they had suffered for a long time, and the sky was too dark, too grey and gloomy, and after a long time, they were able, after a long period of slavery and hardship, they were able to enjoy the nice day. The first stanza, paraphrasing can be only you have to change the prose, the poetry into prose. You are not going to change the meaning of whatever he wants to, whatever the poet wants to explain. Paraphrasing of first stanza is, the light of triumph has come out and lightened the whole sky, which was so gloomy and miserable. The light of freedom is born in the heart of people. You're not supposed to say in this poem, the poet wants to explain, the poet wants to say, or the poet wants to convey. If you're going to write in this way, that would not sound correct. Stanza number 2, the light for freedom and triumph is the cause of sudden excitement and enthusiasm of thousands of people. A song of triumph and victory is everywhere, which excite the people to take a step ahead. Last is stanza. The desire and feeling for unity and harmony with the hope to live freely has risen in the hearts. Fathers were tired, defeated, and hopeless. The light of freedom has come out for what we have been waiting since long time. I hope you would understand the poem. If you're having any question, you can ask me in the comments. Wish you best of luck. Have a very nice time. Allah Hafiz and take care.